Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and happy whatever holidays you celebrate to you. And 2022 has been insane for my channel. Now you may think that 3,600 subscribers are a relatively small amount, but if you look at where I was a year ago with 412 subscribers, that's almost an 800% increase year over year. Could you imagine if your portfolio increased by 800%? That's definitely not the case in 2022. What's crazy is that cash is actually the winner this year and sitting in my high yield savings account. The biggest misconception about cash is that if you hold cash, you lose it to inflation. The reality is that you lose cash to inflation when you spend 40% more on eggs than a year ago, or when you spend 20% more on your plane ticket or rent. If you're saving your cash so that you can purchase assets at a really cheap value to achieve financial independence, you're not losing to inflation. You're just being smart with your money. But I want to talk more about saving money for major annual expenses. It doesn't matter what my net worth is, whether it's $500,000, $1 million, or $2 million. I'm always gonna intentionally spend my money. The purpose of saving money is so you can spend it later, donate it, or pass it down to future generations. That's my philosophy in money anyway. But in any case, when you spend hundreds of dollars in holiday shopping, travel to see your family during the holidays like I'm about to this week, or buy a new car that you've always dreamed of having, you shouldn't feel like you're broke in January and February, right? I stopped feeling broke after the holidays because I created this saving strategy. First, you need to figure out how much of your income is going to the annual discretionary expenses. I'm not talking about what you spend on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. I'm only talking about what you spend annually. And you're gonna have birthdays, anniversaries, parties, fantasy football, video games, or sporting events throughout the year. Let's say you're gonna spend $2,500 a year in annual discretionary expenses. You can open a high yield savings account that pays you 3% in APY. And I personally have Ally Bank, and this video is not sponsored by Ally Bank. If you get paid every 2 weeks, then you can set aside $100 every 2 weeks, and that gives you $2,600 total for the year, right? Let's make it more specific, like holiday shopping for your spouse, significant other, or kids, and you want to spend $500 total on holiday gifts in December. So starting in January, all you have to do is save $20 every 2 weeks so that by December, you'll have pretty close to $500 saved. At the end of December, you just withdraw $500 that you spend on holiday shopping to pay back the credit cards or something else. And keep in mind that you should never carry a balance on your credit card. And I love using mine because I got a lot of points from American Express or Chase. So you basically do this every year and you'll never feel broke for the holidays because you're intentionally saving for this event. Now, let me add more events to the year. Let's say you have a birthday party in April and you want to spend $300. You see how you're going to be in the negative because you don't have enough in the discretionary fund, right? Assuming that you get paid bi-weekly, then you just do $300 divided by 26 and that gives you $11.54. But because your birthday is in April, you're still going to be in the negative because you don't have enough money saved yet. What you can do is just increase your savings in January and February by adding an additional $20 for the first 8 weeks and then reduce the savings by $20 in the last 8 weeks of the year. But I would only do this if you're on a very tight budget, and obviously you're not gonna have just one birthday per year. You probably wanna add more discretionary expenses throughout the year, and you can download this spreadsheet for completely free by visiting firesightchat.com/contact. So you can create your own saving strategy. You can also check out what I got on my display shelves and the equipment that I use for my videos by visiting firesightchat.com/shopping. And if you need help with creating a budget like this, you can schedule a free one-on-one 20-minute financial coaching session by visiting firesightchat.com/coaching. I use this strategy for my emergency fund, annual expenses fund, for my taxes, DMV registration fees, vehicle maintenance fees, credit card fees, and travel fund. And creating a sinking fund or several sinking funds can mitigate your financial stress throughout the year, because when you get that $200 or $300 bill in the mail, you forget to budget for it, then it gets pretty stressful, right? And I know I always talk about investing for my retirement and early retirement, but saving cash and keeping a certain portion of my net worth in cash is just as important. And if you look at my FIRE checklist, the most important sinking fund is your emergency fund. And if you don't have a fully funded emergency fund, I want you to make 2023 your year to prioritize saving $10,000, $15,000, or $20,000, or 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high yield savings account. Psychologically, and I'm gonna move it to my drawing board here, you're gonna have that peace of mind when you have $15,000 or $20,000 sitting in a savings account. This is you in the middle. When you have an emergency fund, you have this dome that's protecting you from any unexpected but necessary purchases, right? Don't invest your emergency fund because you feel like you're gonna lose it to inflation, because you're not. And you're creating financial security to make sure you and your family are protected in case of a blown tire, loss of a job, or a medical emergency. My house flooded this year, right? So, and having a fully funded emergency fund helped us so much because it took our insurance company a while to pay us what we needed to rebuild our home. The second shield that protects your dome is creating an annual expense spending account. And this account is primarily used for large annual expenses like your vehicle maintenance, DMV registration fees, taxes, credit card fees, and the car insurance if you pay it every 6 months. Do you see the difference between this one and the emergency fund? This annual expense amount is for anything necessary and expected, while the emergency fund is for anything necessary and unexpected. The third shield that you can add to your personal dome is creating a discretionary fund that I talked about. This is your Christmas presents, anniversaries, birthday parties, or concerts. Some people combine this discretionary fund with a travel fund. I personally like to separate them because I love to travel. And we travel almost every 2 to 3 months stateside or once a year overseas. Eventually, I would love to travel overseas at least twice a year. But you see how I'm assigning a purpose for every cash fund that I have. This is what I call paying myself first. And something else to keep in mind is that you can't really create a discretionary or travel sinking fund until you have a fully funded emergency fund and an annual expense fund. And before you get those funds fully funded, you should have all of your debt paid off, including your student loan, credit cards, 401k, or car loan. And inside your dome, right, that I'm showing you right now, you're investing for your 401k, IRA, HSA, or TSP for your long-term retirement, and taxable investment accounts, real estate, business, and other streams of income to build your early retirement. And if you want to know more about how to build your emergency fund and investments to retire early, be sure to check out these 2 videos. So with that said, I appreciate you watching my video. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to all of you. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good one.